We all love it. Toiletries for Families provides hygiene items to families that are affected by poverty and disaster. Anybody been affected?
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you speak up for us in the back, please?
a little bit more?
Yes, please.
I'm not loud, can you hear
You
me?
ain't gotta yell. It's okay. I need to hear you on the back. I'll just listen harder.
Free game.
Shout out to Mo, because Mo reminded me that I said I was gonna do something, and I mean, like, integrity is big, so.
Yeah, integrity.
Took toiletries to the house of those in government left out. Shook the hand of the spouse who felt paralyzed. He felt paralyzed, weighed down, found no peace in the battles of crown lining his ground. His skin soaked in with that stench of mothball scent, sweat, and tears. For years he has stayed with me. 60,000 families, 29 states, 9 countries. No funding, only communal support. For those who knew what it was like to go without, to know what it's like to have the soap run out, to know what it's like for the tube of toothpaste to be empty, to know what it's like to need pads and not have any, to know what it's like for those who have been affected so drastic. How we allow ourselves to realize that compassion is lacking, that service can't be so much done if your fist be fixed, but sometimes you allow yourself to see that sometimes if your teeth are clenched, you have something to spit, like the whole sense of you being able to breathe things in, like knowing that some people get on these stages and allow you to dig in. More so, be so exposed to things so beautiful, like the ability for you to articulate something so grave, like the danger that we face, knowing that we are going without thinking about how much you spend every time you go to the store because somebody continues to steal it. The way that they pay for those security guards is because they keep putting 25% plus on the things that you buy, like that's why soap be $10. But the scent of its duration seems to be less, right? Like the liquid in the bar seems to melt either way. It's like it's evaporating, like the water that we don't drink because we're too afraid to let the BPA allow ourselves to get to a space to realize that sometimes we go too fast because of the noise. Because Simone seems to be a reason why our tone be so loud, but we don't know that our voices be carried. But sometimes we vary in the sense of being able to really get to a place to keep your attention because the energy in the room is so high. The heart's racing and all these things in which we spit too fast because we realize that we are riding the wave of somebody else's complacency. We are too quick to realize that we can still control it. Take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale. Because being able to summon you to a place of peace is the way in which I'm able to see that you can speak to anybody in a room and realize you too can get through things you face, even though you do find yourself in a place of discomfort at times. Because whether it's your money being funny or your health being unsteady, it's always that process of trying to balance out the scales. But we be balancing life in the way in which we walk according to the sense and knowing that sometimes the balance being too hard to shift, we don't understand how we go from A to Z and everything in between, because these splits aren't always because your flesh is weak. Sometimes it's just the maintenance of peace. Being able to understand that the herbs and the plants and trees are just for you to find that peace, of understanding that that piece of a hit is more so for you to spit because there's no reason for you to ever feel like you had to rush everything in one breath. When we get to a place to truly embrace life, truly cherish what we get to do, we don't have to worry about holding on to the ways that we let this date be something we remember, but more so how we can be the contender of the things that we face, because the way we put our fists up is so beautiful, but when you open your arms for the grace, you be receiving it. It's so amazing how the healing can come when pain is not held on. How many times have you heard somebody tell you what the things that they hurt by continues to be the things that they are facing, in the same sense of realizing that we are chasing the dreams of thinking that maybe if we didn't go so quickly, rush by the same sense of asking how you doing and still going back to the next case because we don't understand what it is to stay connected. To put ourselves in these positions, to be so authentic, to allow ourselves to be hit, because sometimes when somebody's spitting, you get tickled. Like, I gotta publicly apologize to Polio, because she got on the mic tonight, y'all, and she was like, $5 pussy you won't forget. And then rolled into the poem, but I gotta take my time with it, and I'm like, yo, she ain't talking about the pussy though. And I got so tickled, but in all honesty, you really do have to take your time with it, especially your own. Literally, your shower should be just as intensified for your own demise, even though you might realize that somebody won't delve between your thighs. You have to get to that place to always be ready, because your cleanliness is next to godliness. And the way that you treat your vagina or your penis need to be something sacred before you put anybody's face in it. But sometimes we don't even go to the mirror and acknowledge, I deserve to come today. A few times. And if you can't blow my mind, at least get in a position that you can make me feel like I'm not wasting my time. There's no reason why anybody should suck from a straw of life to think that you can secrete upon their face or their cheeks or their lips can never secrete, to the point to realize that if you tasted something so sweet, you might take your time.